the field, the San Marcos Rattlers.
Still kicking around in this one. And, of course, they're getting hyped. As you can see, the front line of the Rattlers looking to set the tone here.
But, yeah, both against the defensive line and the linebackers, just not an impact on that one at all.
See San Marcos get another good kick return here, flipped out of field position. You know how dangerous those guys are with the ball.
You know, when I was little, I'll be playing Madden, 2K, whatever, and I'm announcing it kind of quietly to myself, stuff like that. And my parents always said, and even my other relatives, like, oh, you always just have random stats memorized. You should do things like that and, you know, try to call games or work with sports like that. 6 turnovers. He has all of them, but still, that's a very great job to take care of the ball. Someone's got to force a turnover to kind of turn the tide of this game, maybe make it from a 1-score game to a 2-score game.
I didn't really know what I wanted to do exactly. I knew I wanted to do sports media stuff, but I didn't really know if broadcasting would be something available. And the radio station said, you know, KTSW was like, okay, there's opportunities to call games, which is really cool. Wow, Deshaun Brown just let it jump, let it bounce, and eventually it rolled in. For radio, every word you say has to mean something because you're painting a picture. You don't just want to waste words, and you want to keep people as informed as possible. So it's like they're watching on TV because they know what's going on. They hear you saying everything, and they can basically picture the game in their mind because of how you describe it on air. Jennings gets it, rolls out to the right side, throws it down the field, and it is broken up, and it is caught for a touchdown. It was intended for Thomas and was caught by Matt P. on the bobbled catch.
I gotta know their stats. I gotta know everything they've done, their career highs, stuff like that, in case they're reaching a milestone. And that's important information that you gotta get out and relay to the listener. That's really what they want to know when something big or important goes down in the history books. That was Javier Gonzalez on that side earlier. Yeah. They've actually switched sides we haven't seen all year. And Jennings has to know, DeMarcus Hall knew that play was coming and made a great break on it. Jennings might be a little lucky.
Just compare him to maybe other players that people know, like professional players. And so it kind of paints a picture of like, okay, that's the type of guy running the ball. That's the type of player throwing the ball. Like, this is kind of the type of player he is, instead of just providing like just random stats out there because you don't always have the stats available. So they throw Cade Foradori. They put Elijah Higgins at quarterback as well, but I think it's safe to say Ethan Nunez will continue this game as the quarterback.
Some of the challenges is you don't get to see him, I guess, and talk to him as much. I guess we could talk to him a lot, but we just go on Wednesdays and try to get an interview or something after practice. You don't have as much history on them. You know, if it's a college guy, I can say, oh, this is high school career. If it's a pro guy, I'm like, oh, this is what he did in college, this is what he did in high school. High school guy, this is what he's done this year, maybe what he did last year.
Number 2 on the reception, Ryan Lindley, the sophomore receiver, able to come up with that one. And just like that, the Warriors are getting back for a PAT, and they're looking like they're going for 2 again.
A typical week, for example, and I'll start on Mondays. For Texas State football, I will come down to visit with the head coach to get the pregame interview with him and also do a TV taping as well. Thursday, I will finish what I call a spotting chart, in which it's an easy-to-read board that takes all that information and condenses it down to 4 sheets of paper. You know, we're talking about media guides, which are 100 pages or more, weekly game notes, which are 30 pages or more, you know, those interviews, the press conferences, and getting it all down to an easy-to-read format. And probably takes me a good 5 to 6 hours to get those things in order. Friday, I'm either going to be traveling with the football team, or if they're at home, I'll be doing a high school football game that night. Saturday comes, and that's the easy part. The game is the easiest part of the week. You know, once the game is over, Sunday, cutting up radio highlights for a TV show, and the whole process starts over again.
And that brings up the first 4th down of the game for the Warriors. Let's see if the Rattlers can take advantage. It looks like the Warriors are going to go for it here. 4th and 8 on the Rattlers 36. You think it's a good call for them to go for it? I mean, they have nothing to lose, is what it seems like. When you're calling a game live and you're just telling people what's happening on the field, I think that's where all like the great sports moments happen, is the live broadcast. The people that are in the booth, that are on the TV talking to you about the game as it's going on live, describing what's going on. People on the radio that are describing what's going on, painting the picture of what's going on. I think that's like the magic of it. It's just the fact that you can basically you're making history by describing what's going on in that particular sporting event at that moment, and it's alive. It's the first thing people hear about it. So it's when they when people play back the highlights or when people think about what happened, they hear your voice over it. So I think that's kind of cool, and it's very raw. It's emotional because you're just seeing it live. You don't have time to process it. You're just straight up seeing it. So you just, I think it's fun because it's just like the instantaneous reaction.